Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to
Welcome in on a wonderful Wednesday morning. It is March the 30th. Only one more day left in March in 2022. Oh, the irony of the NBA endgame. So tonight, the Grizzlies are in San Antonio. They got this really beautiful stretch going. What are they, 18-2 now without Ja? They have second place. Well, one more win or one loss by the Golden State Warriors, and they're locked into number 2, and they're going to get that. But if they win tonight, they actually hurt themselves. J-Mo looking at me like, what the heck is the old man talking about?
I'm intrigued.
So, if the Grizzlies beat the Spurs have a more comfortable lead on the LA Lakers. The Grizzlies, at the moment, have the Los Angeles Lakers first-round pick. Here's how, after discussion with Pete Prenica, here is how I think this works out. The Grizzlies get the pick, for sure, if it's anywhere from 11 to 30. If it is 1 to 4, it's protected for L.A. That, of course, is the way the lottery works out, so we wouldn't know. And if it is 5 to 10, somehow it belongs to the New Orleans Pelicans. So you don't want them in the lottery. You take a chance of losing that pick if the Lakers don't make postseason play. You want them in the playoffs. Isn't that crazy?
So now you're creatively trying to win and lose these games. That's a dangerous game, though, too. I guess not really when you're in second place in the Western Conference, but that is an interesting idea. Is to you do not want the Lakers to fall out of that 10th spot because you lose that pick.
You lose the pick if they are 1 to 10. Is that not nuts?
Maybe.
And if they make the playoffs, you feel a whole lot better.
I think in the last month and a half or so, they've already beaten the Spurs twice. Maybe they should have been thinking about this for the last 60 days or so. Maybe throwing those games.
Who would have thought that Pop's team would be making this late run to get in the postseason, and that the Lakers would be this bad? Now there is no LeBron, there is no Davis. The last time they played, and if this keeps up, they may go, hey, wait a second, if we tank and we get lucky in the lottery, then we keep the pick if it's 1 to 4.
Maybe that's playing the dangerous game, though. Honestly, it's not a bad play by the Lakers to do that, too. Just put themselves out of their misery. They're not doing anything in the play-in spot anyway. Maybe just try and get that pick.
Well, but you have to get really lucky.
You have to get lucky.
Because then the ping pong balls have to go your way to get to 1 to 4. Because remember, if it's 5 to 10, it belongs. I don't remember how, but in reading this thing, the Pelicans get it from 5 to 10. After that, it's the Grizz. If they don't make the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, you feel okay. You get the pick. They're not in the lottery.
And I'm not a skeptic, Dave, but I could see maybe skeptics out there maybe thinking maybe the Lakers missed the playoffs. Maybe the ping pong balls just happen to go their way. They get the pick, But that's far down the line.
Come on now. Are you telling me?
I'm not saying it's rigged, Dave. I'm just asking.
You're basically implying, conspiracy theorist that you are, that there's a frozen. You remember the first time for was it LeBron? No, who was the pick? Might have been Patrick Ewing. That's who it was.
Yeah,
Patrick Ewing.
That was back when they still did the envelopes before they would show the ping pong balls.
And the contention is that the envelope was frozen
That's
so David
right.
Stern could feel which one to pick.
That's exactly right.
And he took a long time going through the hat to pick out that thing. I don't think so. I really don't. But it is interesting. The way the end game works is it might serve Memphis better losing to San Antonio tonight.
Unless you want the franchise. So now we're playing, are we really going for franchise record, or are we looking for this pick? Now we're playing a really dangerous game.
Well, actually,
here.
it helps them if they beat them, right? If they beat San Antonio tonight, it helps the L.A. cause.
That's right. It would help
Yeah.
LA. That's
Yeah.
a good point. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. So it's all in the same then.
So they should really try to beat San Antonio tonight to get the Lakers into the playoffs.
4-game win streak for the Spurs too.
Oh, wait. No. Yeah, you want
You want to beat the Spurs
to beat the Spurs.
because that's they're fighting for. And the Spurs, honestly,
But wait. No, you want L.A. in the playoffs. You want L.A. in the playoffs.
right? But if you beat
Yeah.
the Spurs, they move down, and the Lakers would move up. Theoretically, well, not necessarily move up, but you would move the Spurs further down.
Yeah,
is
you
the
want
idea.
you want the Lakers to advance, so you want to beat the Spurs tonight. That's exactly right. All right. But it is interesting how all of this sort of there's so many ramifications to the end of the year, which is actually why I like the play-in so much, because there's just more interest, storylines, things to be locked into, to want to watch the games, to want to go to the games if you're a fan. So I think that part is terrific. In the meantime, Tigers lose 3 more. And, you have to sit there and you got to wonder to yourself, is some of this movement because of the revelation of what the IARP NOA, Notice of Allegations, revealed? All those major infractions, or 5 of them, level 1 infractions. Has that scared away some of the people? So yesterday, the Tigers lost 3 guys. They lost Sam Onu, who's a married kid, and I don't know how committed to the game of basketball he is, and the only way I can really say that is when he arrived here, he was out of shape. He'd just gotten married. He was out of shape. When he leaves here, based on what I saw in Portland when he made the trip for the NCAAs, he's still out of shape. He did not seem to be a guy working hard on his game. So, I really didn't see any of the practices other than the shoot-around stuff they do. So I can't really tell. But honestly, the Sam Onu loss, to me, does not have a great deal of consequence. I am really saddened by the loss of John Camden because I think John Camden is going to be a good player. He seems to be a guy who was involved in trying to stay in shape and become a better player and work at his craft. And, he played the one game for, 4 minutes, and then he hurt himself. And, they decided we have valid evidence that he's hurt. So we're going to save, with all the guys that we have enough problems with the rotation as it is. We're going to save this kid, and he can become a really good player the next couple of years until he becomes an NBA prospect. And
He was a freshman too, right?
He's a freshman,
Yeah.
so he enters the portal. He's still a freshman, and he can, because he's got a free year. He can transfer wherever he wants to go. No penalty whatsoever. So to me, the John Camden thing is a loss because I think his upside was really good, and I thought he was a really nice kid too. So I hate that. But he's gone, and that one hurts. Onu,
Can I ask you, as someone that's there, the question actually that you posed at the beginning is how much did the allegations
yeah.
or whatever play a part?
The revelation of the notice of allegations. How's that?
Yeah. So based on I talked to Bryant Dacus a little bit yesterday, who's he covers the Tigers
That's his
pretty well.
beat, yeah.
That's his beat a little bit, and he was saying that he's kind of heard rumors of all these guys thinking about transferring, as the season was going on. Did you hear stuff similar, or do you think these allegations really kind of pushed them over the edge?
Well, I think there are some that were going to be moved anyway. So, yes, I've heard those rumors. The transfer portal actually is a two-way thing. It's really, in some ways, an easy vehicle to get rid of a player you don't want. And I will tell you that I think in the case of Memphis football, on 2 or 3 occasions that I know of for certain, guys entered the transfer portal because they were told they would not be with the team the next year. Aha! I don't have a future here. No one needs to know that it didn't work out because I didn't produce or had a bad attitude or whatever. I just say, I'm entering the transfer portal. I think there are some examples. I'm not going into them because that's not fair to the kid. But there are some instances where there's entry into the transfer portal with the University of Memphis basketball team that person's leaving because that person wasn't going to be included in the future. Okay? Now I'm scratching my head over the third transfer from yesterday, and that's Earl Timberlake. So Earl Timberlake is an interesting guy. He's from D.C. I don't think he's had the easiest of lives. When he was in 8th grade, he was portrayed as the greatest 8th grader in the country, which is probably true. And you know what? Not that I've seen pictures of it, but I'm speculating here. He looked the same way he does now. He's a little like Paris London was for Memphis way back when he was in like 8th grade. Same thing. He had a body like he has right now. Nobody in 8th grade could stop him because they hadn't matured physically. And that's, I believe, what happened with Timberlake. Now, you throw into the mix that Timberlake is injured. I mean, he's had a tough time. He was misdiagnosed. He had 2 injuries, apparently. In Miami, he had a leg injury and he had a shoulder injury, which was misdiagnosed and ended up being a neck injury. So while the leg injury finally healed, and I don't believe he was plagued by that in his stay at the University of Memphis, his shoulder injury, which was a neck injury, was a fairly damaging ailment. It required surgery.
So much so he only played 7 games total at Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't play much. He had 2 different things that were whacking out for him at Miami. And, he, I guess, felt like Larinaga wasn't going to give him a shot or whatever it was, and you got a free transfer. Same way Minot's going now, although, Minot thinks he's going to make the NBA. I don't think Timberlake ever thought he was making the NBA last year because he only played 7 games. So he comes here, and 6 weeks before the season, he gets that neck surgery?
Yeah, it was really close to the start of the year.
It was close to the start of the year. And, frankly, as the year evolved and you saw what his limitations were, I thought Penny did a good job of using him in what role he could play, which was a small ball power forward. Because he can still jump decently. There's no hiding how physically strong he is. That is an NBA body, which is why in 8th grade he was the number 1 8th grader in America. And so they figured out if he rebounded, defended, and shot on the inside, because he could dunk and he could lay the ball up, that would work. Could he shoot a 3? He was, I think, 0 for 4 for the year. He didn't try many, but when he did, there is an absolute flaw to his stroke. There's an hitch. It's prominent. Plus which, I don't know why this was never corrected by the U of M coaches, and I don't say that I'm a shooting coach or a swing coach of any kind or anything of that nature, but I noticed on most occasions when he released the ball, instead of releasing it with your fingertips, right? Let that ball roll off the fingertips and you take that wrist and you guide it toward the rim. Eyes on the rim, right? Earl Timberlake would release the ball with his palm of his hand. It was like a shot put. And that was a part of the flaw, plus which there was a hesitation. Somebody, I think, used the word, he would shoot a three like Charles Barkley would swing a golf club. There was a clear pitch, a flaw. Maybe that's because of the neck injury, because that is what the Timberlake camp is going to say. And I'm not saying that's not right. All I'm saying is he couldn't shoot. And I thought Penny and the coaches did a good job of figuring out how they could use him best. And he won that late game against SMU. I mean, without him, I'm not sure they win that game in the semifinals of the American Athletic Conference. And it was funny, up on the post-game press conference in Fort Worth when, somebody asked him about it, and he goes, well, Coach let me play tonight. That was the first inkling I knew he was frustrated. So I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. Here's what I'm surprised at. I thought that the Tiger coaching staff, as I just said, tried to implement him into the rotation somehow, some way, once they realized what he could absolutely do to help them. So I'm a little surprised, since he had success toward the end of the year, that he's leaving. And here's the biggest reason I'm surprised, is he's got to sit out. He's not a graduate student, and he already used the one free transfer that you get until you become a grad student. So that's the way this whole game works now. You get one free one, and then as soon as you're a grad student, you get, I guess, as many as you want, as long as you still have eligibility. So, and with the COVID year, everybody gets this extra year of eligibility. But at Timberlake, unless he can prove some sort of a hardship wherever he's going, he's got to sit out a year. Well, he sat out basically his first year in Miami. He missed a good portion of the first part of this year because of the surgery. Is it in the best interest of Earl Timberlake to sit out another year? Unless he thinks that he needs that time for the neck and shoulder to heal so that he can get back to being whatever he was before. I never saw him shoot until he got here, so I can't tell you. But it makes no sense to me that he leaves.
That actually could be a good point, is that the neck injury thing, trying to get healthy. And if I'm another coach, if I'm coaching another program, or I'm an assistant coach or whatever, just watching him play this year and looking at his stat line here, I'm really looking for him to be able to excel in one area.
I can tell you the area. It's rebounding.
He's got to get better at it,
and it's defensive. He's not a quick enough guy to be a two guard that can just take over a game going inside. I don't know what his future would be. He's got to develop a shot. Maybe he's thinking, if I take the year off and I work with wherever I'm going, go to a place where it's got a great shooting coach, maybe he can overcome whatever the issue is. Maybe it just takes time for his neck and shoulder to heal. I don't know. But he is going to have to sit out another year. Does it say on that bio how old he is? Because I don't think he's one of those guys. He's not like Bates or Duren that reclassified and were younger. So
it doesn't say right away how old he is.
I'm going to guess, let's see, 19, 20. I'm going to guess he's at least 21.
I would think so. I would think you're right.
And if you're really aspiring to become an NBA player, in this day and age, it hurts you to be, 22. They view you as you're old to start to develop.
He's 21. He was born November 4th, 2000.
There you go. So he'll be 22 by the start of next year, right? And he's not going to play. So he'll be 23 with 3 years worth of eligibility. That, to me, makes no sense. I don't understand the Earl Timberlake move. So now we know that Minot's gone, right? So that's 4 guys. Nolly, I'm pretty sure, is not going to be around. So that's 5 guys. Duren is definitely going to be gone because he's going to be, a top 15 pick at worst. So that's 6 guys gone. Wow. Now, there are plenty of folks in the portal. Plenty. You can replace in a hurry. And you can get really experienced guys now because of that extra COVID year for everybody. So it'll be interesting to see what Penny can do, pending what kind of damage the NOA reveal has done to the program. And then there's one other loss that we know of for sure, and I don't know about the future of Larry Brown. A lot of people speculate, he's got plenty of guys that are in the NBA that were players for him that are now coaches. He could go that route. But the loss of Cody Toppert, I'm saddened by. I understand exactly why Cody is on his way, because as he explained to me this morning, I had a great conversation with him, he felt the need to check another box. So, he's been an analytics guru for the Phoenix Suns. He then became an assistant coach and showed he could recruit. He's done that, though, at a place that was not a Power 5. So he had the sense that he had to go to a Power 5. This is what he said to me. He said that Penny was very accommodating in that regard and helped him in the move. So that's the way that one worked out. But 6 guys down, most likely. Who knows what's next? Now it's important. You got to keep a guy like Lester Quinones, and I think Lester's made it clear he wants more offense. I don't know that he wants more minutes. He played 27 minutes a game. We know what glue he brings, but he's not – I don't think he wants to be considered a glue guy. He wants to be considered a scorer. So we'll see how that plays out. And there's DeAndre Williams, and I don't know. I do know there's plenty in the portal. That's the nice chicken soup in this whole thing. But the one thing that I'm saddened about Camden, and I'm baffled by Timberlake, because Timberlake – by the time he starts playing again, he's going to be 23 years old. That makes absolute no sense to me whatsoever. We're sitting here in the Family Leisure studio, and they're looking, by the way, at Family Leisure at I-40 and Wooden Road for self-motivated, goal-oriented people to join their family. They've got sales positions galore. They've got a need for cashiers. They've got a need for service technicians. Got to have a valid license. And if you like working outside, they are adding to their installation crews to build above-ground pools. What a great place. Seriously, go check it out. If you're looking for a new career path, good money, different future, looking for a change, these are your folks. Family Leisure at I-40 and Wooden Road. Our title sponsor for today, it's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. That is where Chris True, their general manager, tells you, quite frankly, you never pay more than sticker price. Not all dealerships have that philosophy. They're living by the law, supply and demand. And there's a demand for new cars, but they never take advantage of you. They've raised the bar at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's very simple. The very first exit in Mississippi off Highway 78 Lamar. It's Craft Road, turn left. You'll see what I'm talking about. Homer Skelton Hyundai. We head to, it may be South Carolina. Most of the time he's in Atlanta. The Soccer Rocker. Because tonight, Costa Rica and the United States men's national team meet up. If the U.S. team doesn't lose by more than 5 goals, they're in the World Cup. Matto, former U.S. men's national team member and former Memphis American. He joins us in just a minute.
Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn drive you home with Sports Time on Sports 56. Brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. As we all know, Memphis can be a hotbed for severe weather, and that weather can play havoc on our roofs. Most people don't know what they should do first when they're concerned about the condition of their roof. Call their insurance company, call a contractor, or trust a door-to-door salesman that's making claims that are hard to believe. My advice would be call the contractor that you know and trust. If you don't know any, research your local contractors and give 2 or 3 a call. I hope your research will lead you to us. Have your roof inspected, decide for yourself what you should should do and whether or not you should file a claim with your insurance company. It's your home, it's your policy, and it's your money. Don't let anyone pressure you into anything. If you give 5S Roofing a call, we promise personal service with a member of our family with no pressure and no hype. 5S Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5S Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Hi, friends. I'm Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and for 5 decades, we've been the personal jeweler to thousands of Memphians and Mid-Southerners. For many, many years, we've been offering the finest and beautiful jewelry to help our customers celebrate those very special occasions and let their loved ones know just how treasured they are. Diamonds and gemstones are our specialty, and set in whatever she wants, a ring or a pendant, a pair of earrings or a bracelet. We search the world's most fabulous jewelry markets, looking for pieces that are not only exquisite and beautiful, but that are also unique and eye-catching. We can help you make her smile in a way that neither one of you will ever forget. Come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers. Let us put our many years of experience to work for you. Let us help you say, I love you in the most wonderful way you can imagine. 5 decades providing beauty, value, quality, and service. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
In Costa Rica tonight, the U.S. men's national soccer team has a chance to qualify for the World Cup. Now, they pretty much are in. They pretty much have it made, because I got to tell you, they can't lose by more than 5 goals. That's it. They could lose 5-0 and still make it because of goal differential. Now, the United States, just so you know, has not lost by 6 goals since 1957. That's 6 World Cups and 16 qualifying cycles. Costa Rica, by the way, has only scored 11 goals in 13 games. It's like this would be the biggest upset in the history of mankind. A man who played on the 1976 national team, voted the best legs in all of the MISL, back when the MISL was big league, and happens to be a good friend of mine. The soccer rocker, they used to call him. His name is Matt O'Sullivan. He joins us now. Knowing those things that I just said, Mr. O'Sullivan, if you were Coach Greg Berhalter, how would you strategize tonight's game?
I'd play it straight up. I wouldn't bunker. I'd play
Really?
it straight up. Yeah. I might hold Pulisic. I might hold a couple guys. They've got great depth. They got guys. This is what happened last game. They had guys that hadn't played. They brought in Shaq Moore. He wasn't even in the squad to start with, but they lost 2 right backs, and so they brought him in. He played great. They've got, Burkhalter's done a great job of building up, 30, 35, 40 players that have gotten time over the last couple years. So he's able to pop them in, put them in, and you got to think about it. If you've been called into camp and you don't play for a couple games, and then they let you go play, you got a lot of energy and a lot of desire. And I'll tell you right now, Costa Rica isn't going to score 6 goals against us. Or, if they do, we're going to score 5. So it's all about goal differential.
Right.
It's pretty simple. Canada's in. Mexico and the United States, are, depending upon the outcome of the next games, are going to probably go in 2 and 3. And Costa Rica is going to go play against, let's see, they play the winner of the New Zealand Samoa Island match, and then whoever wins that match will go to the World Cup. All games tonight are played at the same time. They all go down at 9:00 Eastern time.
So, and I also think Costa Rica, I am told, they've got 9 guys that have yellow card implications, so that there are going to be several their coach may hold out to make sure they will have for that, because the odds are it's better for them to play in that play-in game, win that, than it is with the United States, right? Because they're going to be in the play-in game most likely, unless they beat the U.S. by 6 goals. Yeah.
It's the most likely scenario that they're going to the playoff game. So he'll, I'm sure he'd dream about beating the United States 7-1, but he knows it's not going to happen. Even though the United States has not won a game in their last 10 tries. It was back in it was 1985. The U.S. tied Costa Rica. Since then, 9 straight losses in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica.
Do they play that at elevation?
85.
Is that up high?
I don't believe it's up too high. I didn't check the venue.
Because,
I know they have
it's
a brand new stadium that holds 32,000. They have a stadium that was built in 2011.
Yeah, I know it's their national stadium, and I'm not sure. There are, the interesting thing about Costa Rica, and I confess to you on the front end here, I've never been there, but I've read a lot about it because I want to go. Every climate in the world you can find in Costa Rica. You can find rainforest, you can find desert, you find ocean. I mean, it's all there. So I didn't know.
Well, I read an article where Burkhalter was making some statements, and he said the last time he played there, which was 22 years ago in a qualifying game for the United States, okay, he had a handball in the 92nd minute that gave them a 2-1 victory.
Wow.
So in the world of wanting to win, I'm sure he's got a little payback coming. And like you said, they always play at 4:00 in the afternoon when it's 94 degrees and 100% humidity.
So it's going to be hot there tonight?
I believe. I haven't checked the temperature either, but I think typically it's warm and humid.
So, here's the way I was thinking. I mean, you're talking me into being head up. And when you know that Costa Rica in this competition has only scored 11 goals in 13 games. They're not a prolific goal-scoring team, so I guess you don't have to be as conservative. My first thought, though, was why wouldn't you just play for a 0-0 draw? Just hold the ball as long as you can. Make sure you have plenty of people back, and don't let them have shots on goal.
They won't get a lot of shots on goal, but that doesn't mean that they won't run some people forward because Costa Rica is going to be pushing up. So maybe they play a little different. They play a few balls over the top and spread them out and get somebody breaking away on the counterattack. It's going to be, I won't say comparatively to the Panama game, it's going to be a much more boring game. But the United States is going to be nice and safe. They're not going to worry about, running lots of people forward, but they'll run a few people forward, and they may just, instead of trying to work it out of the back all the time, they may go ahead and take advantage of the fact there's gobs of space over the top.
So Berhalter, give me your grades on him. What kind of job he's done? You've already mentioned he's gotten depth because he's got 30 guys. He's got Pulisic, who is I think, going to be, have a chance to be one of the greatest American players ever. He's scoring in the in the European League. He's scoring goals.
He's scoring in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He's scoring in the Champions League, and he already is one of has accomplished as much or more than a lot of the past American players. It's always hard to compare, 20 years apart or whatever, but you can see where he's playing and what he's doing, as well as a lot of the other, kids that are playing. I call them kids that are playing on this team, and they are. The greatest thing about this is we've got a really solid team together, and it's going to be exciting as hell for 2026 in the United States.
Does this team have the potential to be the best international team that that the United States has ever fielded?
It's always hard to compare those because they're different. They're different time frames,
right? Different eras, generations.
The it has changed, and you know what? Talent wise, absolutely. And the talent is just as the American kids are getting exposed earlier and earlier. It's kind of like the NBA where the kids are going one and done.
Right.
At 19, they either start or they're in the top rotation. They're getting time when they're 19, 20 years old. Well, by the time you're 23 and 24, you're a veteran. Instead of going through 4 years of college and starting at 22 or 23 to then get that time frame. You're getting reps at a young age, and that's what almost all of these kids have done. They've all gone early. I mean, Pulisic was in Germany at 16 with Dortmund. 16.
But that's the international model. They've always done that, right? I mean, they didn't have a collegiate setup or a high school setup. They identified you when you were 11 or 12 years old. Oh, this kid could be really good. Put him in this development team that's part of some pro league.
They're recruiting people. The premier, like Chelsea and some of those teams. They are scouting 8-year-olds, which is just crazy.
Right.
They start identifying players in a ridiculously young age. But and that's the advantage of the U.S. Both the MLS and all the kids that have gone overseas. You're getting kids that are now they're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, this is a very, very young team. Given that. You got a guy like Zimmerman playing center back for you, who's the old solid veteran. He's an old man. I think he's 27.
Wow.
He's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal though. But that gives you that solid leadership in the back that you need to have.
So let's say they qualify, because even they said they've already qualified, and I believe it'll be very low scoring tonight, probably a draw. And the U.S. gets in. Where would they rank in terms of the favorites for the World Cup? Who is the favorite overall?
Okay, here's let's know how the draw goes. Okay, on Friday they're going to do the draw, and the draw is there's 4 pots, 8 teams go in each pot, and there's rules where, for instance, the CONCACAF teams, there'll be 4 CONCACAF teams, right? The 4 teams. None of them can be in the same group. You can only have 2 Europe teams in a group. So there's all these little rules to make sure that they, that they spread everything out. That said, the current rankings are as such: Belgium, Brazil, France, Argentina, England, Italy, put an asterisk by that, Spain, Portugal, Denmark, Netherlands. That's the top 10. Germany's 11.
Wow.
Mexico is 12. USA is 13. Canada's 33, Costa Rica's 42. New rankings come out this Thursday that will determine the pots. Okay, Canada's going to go up. Costa Rica's going to go up. It'll be interesting. United States and Mexico. I don't know that they'll vacillate. They may go up probably not up a spot. They may go down a spot or stay where they're at. So right now, theoretically, you're going to end up. Those guys would be probably a number 2 seed. Because remember, you got 8 seeds that'll be number 1, 8 4s, 8 3s, 8 4s. So Italy, the number 6 in the world, where are they? Oh, home. Because they didn't qualify for the World Cup. They lost.
So they get bumped. So everybody below 6 moves up Because they're
Well,
out.
theoretically, yes. In this, when they go to draw, so if you did that, you'd go Belgium, Brazil, France, Argentina, England, Spain, Portugal, Denmark, without knowing that things are going to change somewhat on Thursday, but depending upon how things hit. So 3, at least 2, and then depending upon how Canada moves, because Canada's going to move up. They've done really well in their last, but I don't know that they're going to get up into the second tier. But Mexico and U.S. will be second seeds, which puts them in good placement when they get in their group play to go forward.
That's right. Bottom line is, even with that placement, they're good enough on paper to make the knockout round.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like always, it's a bounce here and a bounce there sometimes that get you through the next round or not. What you got to do is go out and play well your first game and set yourself up, depending on who the opponent is. You need to win the first game or at least tie the first game. So then you're not in a hole.
He is Matt O'Sullivan, former U.S. men's national team member, who will be with us a lot this summer talking about this World Cup. Thank you, Matto. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. And remember, the World Cup, it'll be in later in the year this year because it's in Qatar.
Right.
And so it's going to be November, December.
Boy, that's terrible. November, December? That's right in the middle of football, basketball overlap. Are they out of their minds to do that?
I'm
What's
letting
the
you know,
world
so
thinking?
You block the time for us.
I don't know. I thought it was going to be in July. What a shame. All right. Thank you, Matto.
Take care. Y'all be good.
You too. That is our friend, the soccer rocker, Matthew O'Sullivan. He is brought to you by Dinsley's because he's such a nice guy. Sweet, you could say. Just like the guy coming up here in a minute. That is Jarvis Greer. Boy, he had interesting timing on retirement. There was another name retired that day. We're going to chat with him about that in just 1 second. But Dinstall's, they're a proud sponsor of this program. We're proud to have them because they are one of the signature aspects of Memphis. When you think, what's the candy of Memphis? Really, what's the candy of the Mid-South? You think Dinstall's. You think Cashew Crunch because nobody has anything like that anywhere else. They own that market. Then the way they do strawberries, nobody does that. I think their turtlettes are really just their milk chocolate and their caramel, unique, as good as anybody else makes in the country, and 5 locations to get this wonderful stuff, which we all love. Those 5 locations, downtown, that's the newest. Then you've got the place where they make it on Pleasant Hill. You've got Germantown, Collierville, and in my neck of the woods, Laurelwood. What a great way to make anybody's day. You go to any of those 5 locations, get something sweet, get the signature candy of Memphis, get Dinstall's.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
What do bagels, axes, and some of the area's finest used cars have in common? Come find out at Auto Universe, 7300 Winchester this Friday as Sports 56 and 98.5 broadcast live beginning at 7 in the morning. We'll have free breakfast from Einstein Bagels, games from Civil Axe Throwing, and we'll be highlighting some of the great cars that can be had at Auto Universe. Join Greg and me this Friday from 7 to 10 at Auto Universe, just off 385 at 7300 Winchester. Sponsored by Einstein Bagels and Civil Axe Throwing.
Are you ready for the Gossett Mitsubishi Spring Sales Event? It's on at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Need 41 MPG Highway with gas prices that keep soaring? We got you covered in 2022 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $189 a month or $14,999. 5 seats, 27 MPG combined. 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $299 a month or $23,037. Plus, redesigned 2022 Outlander with 7 passenger seating and 27 MPG combined. $359 a month or $26,999. $1,098 and get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett got it at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 72 months, 500 military rebate, G4, NHF 03943, MSRP 16985, Sport, NUOO 6786, MSRP 25407, Outlander NZO 6388, MSRP 292, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/28/22, dealer stock only.
Get in the swing of things. Grab your friends, your clients, your employees, and go enjoy everything you love about Top Golf in a luxury suite while at Memphis's only Top Golf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Top Golf Swing Suite is an immersive social experience offering guests a luxury private lounge to enjoy Erling Jensen's extraordinary food and beverage service, all while playing a selection of games in a one-of-a-kind simulation day. Top Golf Swing Suites are great for work outings, celebrations, or just getting together. It's fun for the whole family. It's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. They have more than just golf. They have soccer, baseball, zombie dodgeball, football, and more. Located at 5069 Sanderlin, adjacent to the Doubletree East Memphis. Check us out at SwingSuiteMemphis.com or call us at 901-58-SWING. Again, that's 901-58-SWING at Memphis's only Top Golf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Book your suite today.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus.
Welcome back in. This portion of the show brought to you by the good folks at Old Dominic. You know that place at 305 South Front Street. That is Memphis's distillery. Just like we were talking about Dinstall's being a part of the fabric of this city, so is Old Dominic. It goes way back to old Domenico Canali. He started this empire. They got a great tour. You'll learn the history. You'll learn the craft of distilling from grain to glass. And then there's a tour of the Old Dominic Distillery, a tasting of all the products. Yeah, they're the only ones that do it, by the way. And that tasting, you get the whole portfolio. Or you can go and enjoy it at the bar any night that you would like. You can buy product down there, or in spirit shops all over town. That is Old Dominic. That is Memphis's hometown distillery. Speaking of hometown, Jarvis Greer from Action News 5 joins us now. Jarvis, people just tend to want to be like you. Like the minute you said that you were retiring, Fred Smith retired. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, me and Fred, we go. I ain't even gonna lie like that. No, I'm happy for him, and I'm sure he's happy for me. And it's like, and that's about as far. That's as close as that 6 degrees of separation will probably get. Although I did get a chance to meet him when we had the Hound Dogs. I believe he was a part of that. Sure. He was part of the original group.
That's
to try
right.
to get the NFL.
Well, he used to come to every Tiger game when his son was playing.
Yep, that is correct. And you can thank that scoreboard up there.
Yeah.
that courtesy of FredEx. But and congratulations to him. Man, where would we be at FedEx?
I know. Gosh, no, I'm with you there. What made you decide right now this was the time for you to and let's clarify here, because people have been asking me, and I keep telling them, but you haven't said it that I know of. You're retiring from Action News 5. You're not retiring from the University of Memphis football games, are you?
No, I am not. I will still be doing that because those are fun. And, that's a lot of stuff that I have intrinsic knowledge, I guess you could say. That you just already automatically know that. Yeah, I got to study up on the opposition and stuff like that. But it's not the everyday grind, that doing the 6 and 10 is. And it's fun. We have a good time doing the broadcast. Radio is fun. And we have a good time doing the broadcast. And, boy, we've been blessed with having a good team to cover the class.
Yeah, we have.
So, but it's just time. I get a chance to be at home and see my wife and play with my grandkids. And, we've been married 32 years. I worked second shift weekend that whole time. And, here comes this wind. I'm standing outside. So let me go inside.
Yeah.
They close the school. The schools are closing early.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I wanted to mention that I just got a text from my wife. 11:45. If you're a parent that is listening to this show and you've got a kid at Shelby County School or Memphis Shelby County Schools now, city, whatever the heck they're calling it. 11:45.
Well, the private schools are doing it too. So,
is that right?
I'm looking at my grandson right now. Yeah, we had to go get him because they're closing up early too. This could be bad, and it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know what? We don't deserve another bad round. We all just saw limbs fall all over the place on roofs, on power lines, no power. I went through that for a week just a few weeks ago with the ice storm and all the cracking of the wood. And, these high winds, they're tough. And I saw, what is her name, Gail Carson? That is the spokesperson for MLGW. And she was saying, look, these winds happen. There's nothing we can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that ice storm was a little bit of a blessing because they got trimmed a lot of that stuff up, so there won't be quite as much debris floating around.
Well, I always say, because I have a yard full of trees, I always say, how
yes, you
they
do.
all
It's
have
palatial digging.
One
day below ocean.
I'm always saying that's got to be the end of it. All the weak stuff has to be down, and yet it doesn't seem to end. But
that's right. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, exactly. You going to travel? What are your plans in retirement?
Oh shoot, yeah, that's the total plan. We are, like a lot of the Tiger games now. Emily's going to be coming right along when she can. When we can, if we're in driving distance of a game or two, we're going to do that. We're going to try to travel to some Grizz games, and then we're just going to travel. Period. Get out and see the world, and because we'll have time to, and I don't have to worry about going back to work. And you said, why did I? One of the main factors in deciding, because my wife retired at the end of 2021.
Right.
And so now, I said there's no alarm that goes off in the morning. And usually we're like two ships passing in the night. She worked day, I worked night. I would see her barely in the morning because she's up and out very, very early. And then, try to take dinner and come home in the evening. But then I have to go back to work. And now I won't have to go back to work. And that's just the greatest thing ever. We can go to a game and stay, the whole time. And because, we have season tickets to the Grizz and we go to a lot of the Tiger games. But and that's the only time I really get a chance to see her. And other than when the kids were growing up and we were taking them all to their tournaments and stuff, they were both athletes and, played at a high level. So every weekend we'd be on the road somewhere. And that'd be the only time, we really get to spend any time together was in the car. So now, we'll have some more time. And that's, time is one thing that, Cancer Scare taught me. Time is a precious thing. No matter however much money you make, time is finite.
No doubt.
And when it's over, it's over. So
well, you
try to enjoy yourself while you can.
You worked your butt off, and the truth is, you're talking 43 years at the same place. That's pretty astounding. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I don't know that'll ever get beaten again. I think is Birch ahead of you in that department?
Oh, he's ahead of me. Yeah, he's ahead of me about 1 year, and he's going to stay a little while longer.
He may make 50. Wouldn't that?
He might.
He could make 50. That's incredible.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. It's all up to whether or not he wants to keep doing it. But in sports, it's different than I'm just going to say this: when you're doing sports, it's different than when you're doing news, or if you're the main anchor, main news anchor, because when you're doing sports, it's all on you. All
True.
the stuff you see, as you well know.
In other words, you're saying a lot of people are doing some of the work that Joe's got to do, that you've got to do.
Well, he's got a big job now because he's got to be on top of everything. And he's got to be on the air for, umpty-ump hours a day. And, we just have our little segment, but, it's like the duck. You see on the top, the duck looks beautiful, graceful, but underneath, man, those web feet are paddling like crazy.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff to do to get it on the air.
Right.
And you're the one responsible.
And my wife has just texted me, I better correct it. Different schools get out at different times. City schools are 11:45. If you are listening, you got a young person in school, go check your website or your email or their website to find out when school will end. Jarvo, I only wish you the best. Of course, your retirement does not carry over to radio, so you are still on this show. That was part of the that was part of the contract you signed initially when
signed in blood, unfortunately.
Exactly. You've got it.
And I know you, as being the taskmaster you're going to hold me to it.
Well, I did see that the opening of Overton of AutoZone Park, that bit we did where you slid on the tarp.
Oh yeah.
And Peggy Phillip had hired me to be part of that crew that day.
Right.
I enjoyed watching that, but I didn't get any money from it. What happened?
Not as much as fun as I had. I had a great time.
You did.
I lost a cell phone because it got waterlogged. I forgot I had the thing in my pocket.
Oh my gosh!
That was a blast. I always wanted to do that. It rained at the end of the game, and they put the tarp down, to protect the field for the next day, and it was slick, and I just could not resist. It was the biggest slip and slide ever.
It was fun.
So I just did it.
It was fun. All right, kid. Take care. Enjoy retirement when it comes. It's not happening until New Year's. But in the meantime, you're still with me on Wednesdays. That's all that counts for me.
That's correct.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Dave.
Take care. That's Jarvis Greer from Action News 5 for still a while longer. He's brought to you by the good folks at Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and the famous tune-up. You know all about that 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up. You got to get it twice a year. That's what I think. It will keep your system in tune and efficient, and it will increase its longevity if you get it twice a year. And both come with their separate things. You get the 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up every time for $69. However, winter, they do a carbon monoxide test. They get this little camera in the system to look. It's really safety and peace of mind. In summer, they check when they start your air conditioning system for Freon leaks and make sure your Freon levels are correct. I mean, you've got to get it twice. And all you got to do is call 384-3511, Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. We thank Matt O'Sullivan. We thank Jarvis Greer. We'll do it again tomorrow. Johnny Radio is next.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's